Hi, my name is Beth Massey, and welcome to the Windows Forms over Data video series. In this video, we're going to create a one-to-many data entry form. This video builds upon the database that we created in the first video and an application that we started in the second called the Order Manager, and I have that open now. So what we want to do is we want to create a form that displays our customers and their orders. So first, let's create a new Windows form. I'm going to right-click on the project, select Add, New Item. And I'm going to select Windows Form, and we're just going to call it Form 2. So the next thing we want to do is connect to our database. So we're going to go to the menu, select Data, Show Data Sources. This opens up the Data Sources window. You'll notice that we already have customer data set here that we created in the last video. But what we want to do is add data for customer and orders. So we're going to select Add New Data Source, choose Database as our data source type, and we're going to use the current connection string that we created already. So this loads up the tables that we have in our OMS database, and I'm going to select Customer and Orders this time. And I'm going to name it Customer Orders Dataset. What the designer is doing now is generating a set of classes for our dataset, and it's contained data tables. You'll notice now that we've got Customer Orders Dataset with Customer and Orders in it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to drop the Customer table onto our form. By default, if we just drag this over, it will create a grid of customers. But we don't want a grid. We want details. So you can drop down and select Details. And now, when we drag this over, it will create controls for every single field in the customer table. There we go. So you'll notice when we did that, it dropped some components down here for us, including the binding navigator, which allows us to scroll through the records inside our customer table, as well as buttons for adding, deleting, and updating our data. So the next thing we want to do is add the orders. So as we scroll through each of the customers here, we want to make sure we're only displaying the orders for that customer. So we want to add the related orders. So what we need to do is expand the customer here, and then we'll see the related orders under that. It's very important to distinguish between the relation here and the orders here. If we drop just this orders table onto the form, we won't get that automatic filtering in the orders as we scroll through our customers. So we're going to hold on to this guy and drop it onto the form. And now we've got a grid of orders. So I'm going to make the form look a little bit better here. Get into my property sheet, and we're going to anchor this data grid view and just make the form look a little bit better here. There we go. Okay, that looks a little bit better. So the next thing we need to do here is we're going to go and view our code. And what we want to do is make sure that we are also saving our order table. So I'm just going to copy these 2 lines of code. And so when we click Save, we'll actually have the orders saving as well. And just change this to orders as well. Okay. Just need to orders. There we go. Okay. Great. Okay, so before we're ready to test this, we're going to need to set this form as the startup form for our project because we had a form here already. So I'm just going to double click on my project, and let me get rid of this here. Now you can see startup form, and we're just going to select Form 2. Okay, so now we're ready to test this. So when I hit F5, you'll see our Form 2 starts here, and I can scroll through the 2 records that I have in my database, and as you notice, you can see the orders below filtering as we scroll through the customers. So these are the orders that are related to the customer. Great. So let's make a little change. I can make my full name here. And let's add an order. and we'll say shipped on. Okay, and we'll press save, and it updated our data. Great, so it looks like it works. So that's all it takes to get a one-to-many data entry form together. All we did was we used the data sources window to connect to our database and create a customer orders data set with customer and related orders in there. Very cool. So I'd like to thank you for your time. If you'd like to check out the Visual Basic Developer Center, we'll be posting updates to these videos there. Please also check out the Visual Basic team blog and my blog for more information. Thanks again.